Right.
Watching your grace going from, okay, you're getting a new song. Today it's about an orgy. Tomorrow it's about reading. Okay.
We gotta just do this.
We got to do it.
We gotta do this.
Hello and welcome to MTV Cribs. I'm just kidding. What's up? It's me, Salish, and I am so excited for episode 3 of this series, which is specifically focusing on Once Upon a One More Time, which, by the way, 1 month ago today, we laid our baby to rest. I just sat down with Justin Guarini, who played our Prince Charming, and he freaking rocked that part!
Already know. Your listeners should know that I admire you so much and everything that you do so very much, that I nominated you to be the unsung hero, my unsung hero, for the American Theater Wing Gala. And it was awesome.
So I wanted to say thank you for nominating me.
Yeah.
Because that I've never been to a gala like that before. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was really fun. When you turned to me and said, there are like 5 Kennedys at this table with us. That event for me was really special because, you know, our show had closed, and our show, I mean, for all of us, but I can only speak for myself, Once Upon a One More Time was definitely the best work that I've done ever. Yeah.
You had the best tribute of the night. And I might be biased because you
It was
literally
about you.
Okay, let me be objective for a second.
Mm-mm.
What I loved was you were so selfless and you told the story. And then when you sang, you literally sang to me.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I like being intentional like that. Like, I didn't know exactly what I was going to say when I went up there. I didn't practice that. I wanted to make it about you, and I wanted to tell them a story, and then I wanted to sing a song that, you know, again, was very intentional in terms of like the lyrics being like, I've been so many places in my life and time, sung a lot of songs, made a lot of bad rhymes, acted out my life in stages, right? And then talking about like just how much like you're a friend of mine, and like I love you, and I really appreciate what it is that you did, and, you know, to keep our show open for as long as it was open, because I think it would have closed a lot earlier had you not played 6,000 parts.
You know, every time you flung from the ceiling on the chandelier and then you dropped, you know, every time I was so nervous, I was like, let my Justin be okay.
Me too. Oh, I would think about that all the time when I would come down, because it's not an insignificant drop from that chandelier, and
it's far to me.
It's far to me too.
And you did it every day.
Yeah, it's wild. And yet I would come down, and every once in a while it would give me a little twinge.
See, I remember when we were blocking that, Susan, one of our producers, was like, because it only takes one time for it to not go right, and then you're done. But you did it.
Yeah, continue. And I did it backwards too. That's the thing. I let go of it, and a lot of times I would be falling backwards and I would slide.
I would literally close my eyes when I was watching from the house.
Well, in fairness, it was higher. In DC, it was higher.
It was.
The first couple of times, yeah. In the first couple of times I did it, David, one of our consultants,
creative consultant,
David Laveau, was like, "Do you want me to lower that?" And I was like, yes, because I was thinking like, oh, it was like maybe, I don't know, like a 5 or 4 foot drop or something crazy, as opposed to the drop now, which is still significant.
It was still significant. But even in times like that, as like when I'm watching it, and if I'm like taking the role of audience member, you still made us feel secure. Like, he's gonna be okay.
And my favorite part of you with that, well, two of them actually, there's this magic part that we do one of the first like sort of big production numbers other than the opening number. And so I, as Prince Charming, am singing to Celicia as Cinderella, and Celicia's sitting down in this voluminous dress in this chair, stage left, downstage left. And the chair houses a bunch of these little magical items in them, right? That pop out and based on certain moves that I do. And so Celicia kept trying to, three magic. And so I'll do one magic trick and then another magic trick and then another magic trick. About three magic tricks too early, Celicia kept trying to reach for some flowers that magically appear because she's part of the act as well, and so her left arm kept going towards the flowers, and as I was doing magic things, I kept touching with my right arm, like holding like it.
You're like, not yet.
Doing my thing, and then she would move her arm. I saw it snaking back, and then I'm doing magic, and I have to take it back, and I'm like, nope. And I just kept grabbing her arm until the time you were supposed to get the flowers. And then the other one was in I forget what the name.
Oops, I Did It Again.
Yes,
with the boys.
Yeah, in Oops, I Did It Again. And so there are these boys that circle around you, and then there's a lane for you to pull Snow White being played.
And usually I would be Snow White if I'm filling in.
Yes.
And Briga will pull me.
Yes. So you didn't quite know when to pull Snow White from center to stage right. These boys are circling around. And the challenging thing is that you, as Cinderella, have your back to where that opening in the boy circle is.
Yeah.
Right. So you don't know. And so I start to see you pulling Aisha towards this wall of moving boys. And, in my mind, I just see legs being tangled up, people falling all over one another. You're in this massive dress that there's no coming back from if you fall down in it.
Oh, dear God. You were literally doing 5 shows in one.
But it was so fun. It was so much fun and so terrifying at the same time. And so every single time I let my hair grow back out and it gets curly, like good things happen. It's just such an interesting thing. And like, look, Once Upon a One More Time, like I definitely cut a lot of my hair off for that show.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Can
I ask you about that?
Good things. Yeah, go for it.
When we were in DC, was it for DC?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you had a head full of curly hair, and then one day you came and it was cut, and it wasn't just cut; it was cut close to your head.
Yes.
And listen, I'm just the peanut gallery, but I feel like you came in and you felt a little sad, and it had nothing to do with that. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't, whatever. But I want to check in with you. How did you feel? And
it was. I was sad. I was wondering what people were gonna think. Like it was a big change for me, and like I liked having my hair long. My hair had been long through the pandemic. My hair had been like super long, and it just was. I don't know. It just felt like it was me. It's me. Yeah. Having big curly hair is just who I am. Like, it is what it is.
Our hair is so connected to our identities.
Yeah, especially in our culture. It's very, very interesting. There was, especially with people of color, we change our hair, especially women, to change their hair so much.
What do you mean?
So much change. I don't know, but there's so much change. And it's just so interesting. It's just so interesting to me because I have learned to really, especially with people of color, like hone in on your face and like really specific details about how you look and how we all look, because our hair changes so often. It's just so interesting. Yes, our hair is so tied to our identity and how we show up. And what I love about you and, a cast member of ours, Gabrielle Beckford, it could be different from day to day, depending on the attitude, how you feel, how you want to be seen. And it's just, I think that's such a powerful thing that maybe people from other cultures don't have access to.
You described your hair growing up as being like so thick you could put things in it and it would just stay there.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at these beautiful defined curls. You got a little Elvis moment happening in the corner. I'm like,
No.
oh,
Oh,
did he finger
no.
curl that one
No.
specifically?
No, they
I want to know, like, how do you care for them? How do you get them so defined?
Right.
Okay.
I have herniated discs in my neck because in 2002, when my hair was long, I would dry it by like swishing my hair back and like my neck, like from
Literal
shoulder to
herniated
shoulder.
discs.
Herniated discs because I was 23 or 2 and stupid. Apparently, I didn't know what a diffuser was. So when Rita finally got a hold of my hair, it was before American Idol, just before American Idol, and it was this big, sort of brown block of hair, curls and whatnot. She's like, "Oh, I know what to do," and she ended up cutting into it and making it just have some angles and whatever definition hair speak that I don't know, but what she did, which was the huge game changer, reason why I go back to her now still, is because she did these like sort of blonde highlights, which you can
Which
see
I love.
here. Right, because it breaks up this big block O curl. Like it looks so much different, and it gives it a little like pizzazz. I'm 80 pizzazz.
Ask, like, why was our show so special? Because it was.
Yeah.
And it took me a while because I always felt like, because I've been in other shows that closed, and I'm
Yeah.
like, when our show closes, that means we're bad and this and this and that. But that is not
No.
true. Why was our show special? And what happened, Justin?
What happened with our shows, what will happen from time to time when it's just the perfect storm of opening at the wrong time. We had a very expensive show that opened in the summer when it's notoriously hard to open a show because a lot of your New York fan base and all that, they're gone. They're on vacation, right?
Yeah.
A lot of families are on vacation. Yes, there's an influx of tourism, but now more than ever, are you going to spend the fortune it costs to go to a Broadway show on a show that you don't really know anything about, or you're going to go to your Wickeds, your Lion Kings, your Chicago's,
Moulin
your stuff that
Rouge.
you know, your Moulin Rouge, the things that you know or that you already love, your Back to the Future, the things that you know and love, of course, because it is so prohibitively expensive to just see a show.
Yeah.
That's a problem. And then the show was super expensive, and you open it in a theater that is like cursed.
Massive. And cursed.
Because it's so massive. It's a massive house. 1,600 seats is one of the biggest.
It's top 4.
Yeah, top 4, right? Like
We're literally across from
Sure.
the Lion King.
Right. And that's that. And then, we get into the nitty gritty of the marketing and not really being super clear about your audience and who you're going after and vacillating. And these are all things that are above our pay grade, right?
Right.
Things that we
Right.
cannot control. And like whatever. And it's easy for me to sit here and be like, well, I should have done this. That. I didn't have to make any of the decisions, and I didn't have to pay for any of it. So,
Right.
there's only so much that I can
Right.
wag my finger without actually being the people who have to make the very difficult decisions.
Yeah.
There was a challenge with the Britney fan base and the people who were skeptical of her involvement and her approval in the process, right? So we never really truly got that thumbs up, seal of approval, go see my show from Britney.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she
and
posted on her page, but it's different if we see it coming out of her mouth.
it's
If
different.
it's different.
It's different. And so I think even the casual observer can see that she is going through a lot and has been going through a lot right
Yeah.
now. And so for whatever reasons, that never materialized. And so you stack all those things on top of one another. And to their credit, Jimmy Niederlander and the Niederlander organization really bent over backwards financially, mentally, spiritually to keep us open as long as they did. That being said, what made our show special was the obvious joy and passion and love that not only we had for and have for one another, the people up on the stage, but that we have for the material.
Yeah.
That we had going out. I cannot tell you how joyful I was to come off the stage, barely being able to breathe after doing 3 numbers in a row when I did, circus sometimes. And then oops, right? Like those, there were so many times in that show, multiple times per show, where that part of my brain, which is like, I need to stop. I might pass out. I can't breathe. I don't think I can do this. This is not possible. You need to stop, would be screaming at me in the back of my head. And then the front of my head would be delivering the music, loving it, enjoying the process, and being like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
I can do this.
This is the greatest. I don't know how I'm doing this, but I'm doing this, and let's go. And it was this nightly conquering of my doubts and my fears, and like slaying this dragon show after show after show after show, right? And so even though crazy became our new normal, and what I mean by that for you listener is like, people were out. We had to make substitutions.
We had COVID happen.
I mean, so many wild that we had last minute rehearsals for this. I mean, so many wild things happened during this show. And had we not had a Celicia, had we not had a Diana, had we not had these wonderful people who would, swing in, swing in to the point where multiple times, both you, Dinah, Jacob, Matt, everybody was like, okay, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna do it. And they did it. So that part of it, our joy, our passion for it, I think resonated so much with the audience. And the fact that we were saying something without necessarily saying something, without beating people over the head, when it came to female empowerment, when it came to the fact that whether you are no matter what your identity is, your preference, sexual preference, whatever, like, you can write your own story. I think that resonated with a lot of people. And yet I think really at the end of the day, the energy and the standard that Keone and Mari Madrid set for us, which was family, love, passion, integrity,
giving ourselves grace, giving each other grace when we're learning it. It was hard. It was Ryan Steele, Broadway's Ryan Steele. He was like, I don't know. I'm like, wait a minute, what? He's like the dancer of dancers. If he needs to take a beat, okay, this is hard. Yeah, it was really hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, by far. Me? Yeah. Once Upon a Woman, I always say this, I wish it was a reality TV show because there's nothing like it. I've never experienced anything like it. Nope. It was the hardest thing, but the most special thing. It felt like it meant something. And the way we rallied around each other, Justin, I've never experienced anything at that. Family. It was family at the highest level. And it was everything that you want. It's like everything that you, when it was good, like, and when we were clicking and we were on, it's everything you'd want your theater experience to be. What's up? Thanks for tuning in to another episode with me, Celicia. If you haven't watched the first one or the second one, go back and watch those. They're short and sweet. And while you're here, subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to listen to the full version of this interview with Justin Guarini, head on over to anywhere where you can listen to a podcast and look up Black Hair in the Big Leagues.
And also, look up Justin, justinguarini.com. He's everywhere at Justin Guarini. Look him up. He gives coachings, classes, seminars, workshops. He has written a book. He's done so much. He truly is a multi-hyphenate and has so much to offer to the world in addition to his mega talent. So thank you for sharing this time with me, and I'll see you next week.